Alright guys, so we got the data mines here for the Fallen Heroes banner. And we got the refines. I'm a little bit late. I literally just got home and turned on the subreddit and found out that everything has been posted. So we're going to go ahead and start with the refines, and then we'll do the next video, which will cover the actual data mines for the banner. So we have Louise up first. Let's make this a little bigger if we can. Okay, it gets a little bit wonky there. So I guess... actually, hold on. Let's see here. Nah, I guess it's not going to play nicely. Unless I open all these images in a separate tab. I think that might do the trick. Yeah, okay, we're going to have to do it like that. So we'll just open all of these up in a separate tab, and that way we should be able to get a good view at all of the text here. Alright, hoping for Mommy Arete to look pretty good here. I mean, she's got one of the thickest and baddest arts. So it would be great to have an excuse to actually want to build her up. Alright, there's Deirdre. Wow, Deirdre's a 3-pager? Holy shit. Okay, so we'll start over here. We'll start with Louise. Now, she didn't get a preference weapon on release, so now they're going to go ahead and give her one. So what is it called here? Let's see. Noble Bow. Effective against flying foes. For foes in 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, inflicts attack speed, defense, and res -5, and nullifies foes' bonuses during combat. And those foes cannot recover HP during or after combat. Oh, she's got like a built-in fatal blow there, or fatal smoke there. When an effect such as Feud is triggered for allies, excluding unit, that effect will also neutralize this skill's cannot recover HP after combat effect on their foes. Oh, so if your opponent has Feud, they can actually stop her from doing that, it seems like. Wait, what am I even talking about? This is a rain style of debuff for foes in 3 rows or 3 columns, right? So she's doing this by just standing on the map. That actually makes sense because her original weapon was the rainbow, which debuffs enemies that are, I think is in 2 spaces of her. So, yeah, this makes sense, actually, that they gave her this on the refine. All right, let's take a look at the extra part here. Alright, also at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants a bonus to all stats equal to 10% of speed at the start of combat. Reduce damage from foes' attacks by 7 on their first attack and brave attack. And then we have also a -1 special trigger. If unit initiates combat or is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants all stats of 5 to unit, deals damage equal to 20% of unit's speed, and grants special cooldown count -1 to unit before unit's first attack during combat. And recovers 7 HP after combat. Wow. Actually pretty solid, honestly. Like, the rain debuff is really nice, and then she can just get a whole bunch of true damage and true damage reduction based on speed. She can run Curved Shot, which is a pretty good special. She can run Lagu's Friend as well, but, I mean, 16 defense. Maybe not the best when it comes to tanking, but at least she does have workable res. So Lagu's Friend can check off res, or even Lagu's Loyalty, that can check off speed for her. So she seems okay. She's got some options there, and the support is very nice. Okay, so Marianne up next. Now, everyone is excited about Marianne, and low-key I am as well, because I have a lot of copies of her from Pity Breaks. So let's see what they gave her. Alright, if there is a dragon or beast or cavalry or flying ally on the map, enables Kanto 2. I guess that's playing up the fact that she loves animals. Alright, also at the start of player phase or enemy phase, inflicts attack and res -7, exposure, and guard on the foes with res less than units res, and that are in 2 spaces of another foe through the next action. Pretty good. Exposure is really nice. Also, at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts attack and res -6, and speed -5 on the foe, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack during combat. And also, when unit deals damage to the foe during combat, recovers 7 HP. Alright, some nice start-of-turn debuffing there, and then we get some in-combat debuffing as well. Alright, and then the special effect part is at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts a penalty on the foe's attack speed and res equal to 10% of unit's res at the start of combat +5, and deals damage equal to 20% of unit's res during combat, excluding on AoEs. When Kanto triggers, enables unit to use Sing or Dance once per turn. If similar effects are active, this effect does not trigger. Wow. This effect is not treated as an assist. That's pretty good. Nor is it treated as Sing or Dance. So that means you can use this on other allied dancers or singers or units like Felix that lose effects when assists are activated, or even units that have isolation on them, because this does not count as an assist. So a unit like, let's say, well, who would have isolation on them, though? That's, like, with still an action left to go. That would be a little awkward, because Brave Crom is the one that came to mind for me, but you wouldn't be able to sing or dance him while he has isolation, because he still has an action left. So maybe not so much there, but on other ally singers and dancers, that could be effective. That's a really interesting thing that they gave her. I actually like that. It makes her pretty unique there. So, yeah, seems pretty solid for Marianne as well. Let's move on to Morgan now, male Morgan. Okay, grants attack up 3. At the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts attack and res -6 on the foe, nullifies foes' bonuses to attack and res, and unit deals +X damage during combat, where X is the highest total penalties among target and foes in 2 spaces of target, excluding on AoEs. Okay, so that could stack pretty high then. Like, highest total penalties, if they're at all stats -7, that's, what is that, like 28 points, which is quite a bit. Alright, then also, following effects will occur based on the value of total bonuses on the unit, plus the value of total penalties on the foe. If greater than or equal to 5, foe can't make a follow-up, and if greater than or equal to 10, then unit makes a guaranteed follow-up, and if greater than or equal to 15, inflicts guard on the foe per attack. Alright, basically just Omni Breaker and guard. That's nothing too crazy. It's really the true damage you're going to want to be getting out of him. And then also, at the start of player phase or enemy phase, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts attack and res -7, Hush, Spectrum, and Ploy on the closest foes, and any foes in 2 spaces of those foes through the next action. That's pretty good. Hush Spectrum is one of the better debuffs that you can do, and there's not many units that can do it. It's really just the Robin, and the Brave Robin, and also the Baby Robin. So now we're adding Morgan to the mix of units who can do Hush Spectrum. So that's pretty good. Okay, also at start combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts a penalty on the foe's attack and res equal to 10% of unit's res at the start of combat +6, and reduce damage from foes' attacks by 20% of res during combat. Okay, so seems pretty good overall. I mean, this is a good batch of refines so far. We don't really have any stinkers in here. They're all pretty good. Okay, so Mommy Wami Arete over here. Dude, I don't even know how she's Azura's mom. Azura did not inherit a single ounce of the thickness, right? So Arete is just like, I mean, her divine goods are once in a lifetime, apparently. So, Tome of Grief. By the way, she also got shafted. She got a non-preference tome at the time of her release. So, it's nice to see her finally get something. At start of turn, if unit's HP is over 25%, inflicts attack and res -7, and flash, basically, on the closest foes and foes in 2 spaces of those foes through the next action. Alright, would have been a little bit nicer had we not just gotten the Fallen Allirs that give Null C Drive as a status. Alright, also at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants all stats of 5 to unit, neutralize foes' bonuses to attack and res, and grant special cooldown charge +1 to unit per attack during combat. Alright, then also at the start of combat, if unit's HP is over 25%, grants all stats of 5 to unit, neutralize penalties to attack and res, deals damage equal to 20% of res, and makes a guaranteed follow-up during combat. Okay, seems pretty good overall. I mean, we're getting all stats of 5 there. We're getting true damage based on res. We're getting some support debuffing there. Flash is good, but also there's a lot of ways to get Null C right now, and a lot of good units already came with it anyway, so a little bit devalued. I would have liked it if she did something else on top of that too, like Flash and something else. But for a GHB refine, I guess it's fine. It's not, like, crazy. This is definitely the weakest one we've looked at so far. But at least it's okay for a GHB. Okay, we got the Winter Bernie up next. So, grants speed up 3. At start turn, if unit is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants Paranoia and special cooldown charge +1 per attack during combat. Wow, that's the Brave Bernadetta status effect there. So that's actually a pretty good one. to unit and allies in 2 spaces a unit for 1 turn and deals 1 damage to unit and those allies. I believe it gives you Vantage if you have less than full HP, which is already happening from this Bernie because she does the chip damage. And then I think it gives you like attack up 5 or something, and it might give you one other effect as well. It might be like Brave Attack or something. I don't completely remember what Paranoia did, but I think I was pretty close. So that's a good status effect there. Then also at the start of combat, if unit's HP is not full, or if penalty is active on unit, grants a bonus to attack and speed equal to 10% of speed at the start of combat plus 6. Deals damage equal to 20% of speed, and then reduce damage from foe's first attack by 30% during combat. First attack and brave attack. Okay, and then the special effect here is enables Canto Rem with a min of 1, -1 special trigger. If unit initiates combat or is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack and speed up 6. Deals damage equal to damage dealt to unit times 2 plus 5 with a max of 21. That's interesting. So the more injured she is, the more damage that she gets. Huh. Okay. Alright, excluding on AoEs, and then neutralize effects that guarantee foes follow-ups and prevent units follow-ups during combat. Seems pretty good, mainly for the Paranoia. Like, getting another unit that can do that is pretty good. So, like, that to me is the most important takeaway out of this, but the rest is pretty good too. Okay, then we have Legendary Myrrh. So, Myrrh already has Warp Bubble, right? So, like, let's see what they give to her. She's already technically a good unit, just off the fact that she's got Warp Bubble. So, -1 special trigger. Adaptive damage against ranged opponents. If unit initiates combat or is in 3 spaces of an ally, inflicts all stats -5 on the foe. Unit deals plus X times 5 damage, where the max is 25 and X is the number of bonuses on unit and foe, excluding stat bonuses, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up during combat. Reduce damage from attacks during combat and AoEs by 40%. Alright, percentage-based DR, that's pierceable. That's, I mean, it would have been nicer if she had, like, defense-based DR. But maybe she does. Let's keep going here. Okay, for unit, or for foes within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, inflicts all stats -5. And reduce percentage of foes' non-special DR by X% skills by 50% during combat. Alright, another one of these rain-style debuffs. These are really good, honestly. Like, I actually like these. They gave this to Ninja Lin on her refine. It's basically the same thing, too, I think. I think Lin does attack, speed, and defense -5. And then she does the cut DR by half. So, as a rain style of debuff, that's really good. You could just stand there and everyone gets the benefits of that. Okay, also, if the foe initiates combat or foe's HP is over 75% at the start of combat, inflicts a penalty on foes' all stats equal to 10% of defense at the start of combat, and reduce damage from foes' attacks by X times 3 during combat. With a max of 15, and X is the number of bonus effects on unit and foe. She gives herself 4 bonuses out of her C skill, by the way. She gives Warp Bubble, she gives Prevention of Enemy Follow-Ups. Oh man, she gave other things too. I can't remember all of them though. But she gave like 4 bonuses to herself and either the support ally or the ally with the highest defense for her Warp Bubble effect. So, yeah, overall, this looks really good for her. Like, the weapon seems pretty good, and then her upgraded C skill was already pretty good. So, yeah, Myrrh definitely got a good refine and remix here. Okay, now finally we got Deirdre. So, Deirdre's going to need quite a bit. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but the miracle on her special counts as non-special miracle, which is so ass backwards because it's literally on a special. But let's see what they gave her here. Okay, so she got -1 special trigger, effective against dragons. If unit initiates combat or is in 3 spaces of an ally, inflicts attack and res -6. Reduce damage from foes' attacks by 20% of res. Unit makes a guaranteed follow-up. Disables foes' skills that have adaptive damage. And also, if unit's res is better than foe's res at the start of combat, inflicts a penalty on foe's attack and res equal to the difference between res stats at the start of combat with a max of 16. Okay, she does have good res. Well, it's inflated because she's got still water there, but I can't imagine you would want to give her a different res boosting skill anyway. Maybe like Sly Mirror would be good, but yeah, like Crystalline Water, like things that just raise her res are probably what you want to give her anyway. Okay, and it's also during combat res. So you could run drive boosting res skills, like I said, Sly Myrrh, which is an in-combat buff that would count towards this. Okay, so also at the start of turn or at the start of enemy phase, except in SD, if unit is in 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack and res up 6. Neutralize units' penalties during combat to unit and allies in 2 spaces for 1 turn. And also for unit and allies in 2 spaces, if special cooldown count is at max value, grants -1. Okay, they gave her a lot of support there. They gave her pulse support, they gave her attack and res support, and then neutralize enemy bonuses, which is good. I mean, that's one of the better effects, because every unit now just, for existing, will give all the allies some stat bonuses. So you want to be able to mitigate that. Alright, also for allies within 2 spaces of unit, if special cooldown count is at its max value after combat, grants special cooldown count -1 again. So we get 2 instances of -1 there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Double pulsing is pretty good, right? Is the hold on. Yeah, it is double pulsing. For a second, I thought this first part was only for her, but no, both of them are for allies as well. So, yeah, just -2. Okay. All right, we'll take that. All right, then also, if unit initiates combat or is in 3 spaces of an ally, inflicts attack and res -6 on the foe, deals damage equal to 20% of res during combat, and recovers 7 HP to unit after combat. And also, if special cooldown count is at its max value, grants -1 after combat. They gave her all the pulsing, didn't they? Wow, that's very funny. All she needed was that miracle on her special to count as special-based miracle, so Fatal Smoke wouldn't be able to turn it off. That's the only thing I wish that they gave her, but unfortunately they didn't. Otherwise, this is really good. Like, lots and lots of support here. Pulse support is one of the supports that doesn't really age out. Like, stat-boosting supports and some certain, like, status effect supports, like guaranteed follow-up and block enemy follow-up, like that type of stuff ages out really quickly. But pulsing support is something that never ages out. It's just always good to have that. So that's great. She's got a lot of debuffing there based on the difference between res, which she's definitely going to have really good res. It depends on who she's fighting, though. If she's fighting like enemy tank units, they will probably have similar res to her, so you won't be able to get the most out of this there. But when she's fighting other, like, god swords and god tanks and things like that, where she can bully them on res, she'll be able to eat really well out of this. So, yeah, I like her refine. I like what they gave her. I actually like all of these, honestly. All of these got something worthwhile. Like, Louise has the rain debuff. Marianne's got the dance after combat, which is really good. Morgan got Hush Spectrum, which is good. Arete got Flash. I mean, how funny is that, right? The thick mama is flashing people. She could flash me any day. But Flash got devalued quite a bit with the new Alliers. Bernie got Paranoia, and then what else? Myrrh ended up getting like crazy amounts of stuff out of her C skill, and then her weapon is really good. She also got the rain debuff as well. So yeah, every one of these refines got something. I don't even know if I want to call who the winner is here, because they're all doing something different, and they're all pretty good. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Pretty good refine batch. And we'll come back in just a second. We'll take a look at the data mines.